We could be in for a very slow winter. Here's your Toronto real estate market update. The core of Toronto had 876 sales in November. That's down 14% from October and down 4% compared to November of 2022. A 14% decline in sales from last month isn't out of the ordinary, but the comparison to last November is interesting considering that the market this time last year was fairly slow due to high interest rates, and yet sales came in last month even lower than last year's slow period. So the market is still fairly sluggish right now. Here's another interesting comparison. 2021 had a record number of home sales, and in November that year, there were 1,767 sales. So the 876 that we saw last month is a 50% drop from that peak in 2021. Also, the average number of sales in November across the other years going back to 2017 is 1,310. So we're well below what a normal November would look like. For new listings, there were 2,456 new properties hitting the market. This is down 30% from October. So it seems as if some homeowners have already decided that they'll wait until the new year to list their property for sale. We normally see new listings fall off a cliff in December, but market conditions have likely caused a lot of people to wait for what they hope will be a better market next year. And despite that 30% decline in new listings from October, it's only 3% less compared to November of 2021 when sales were double what's happening now. So you can see that as a ratio between the number of sales and the number of homes being listed, things are still very out of whack compared to what we've seen in the Toronto market over the past 5 or 6 years. That ratio, by the way, is currently at 36%, which indicates a buyer's market. And at this time of year, we usually see a sales to new listing ratio of somewhere in the 50 or 60% range. November sale numbers in Scarborough, Etobicoke, and North York saw pretty similar trends to the core, dropping 10% compared to October and falling 7% compared to November of 2022. So we're seeing that same sluggishness in the areas outside the core as well. New listings fell, but only by 17% compared to the 30% in the core. So owners didn't take the same view of, I'll wait until next year to sell, rightly or wrongly. As a comparison to 2021, new listings are up 20% and sales are down 53%. So we're witnessing another huge fall off in interest in purchasing a home compared to that year of peak activity. And because of lower than usual sales and higher than usual new listings, available inventory for all areas of the city remains pretty high, which provides buyers with choice and quite often time to make decisions, something they haven't had in a long time. There's a lot of speculation that 2024 will be a much better market for sellers. There's plenty of talk of declining interest rates, and those cuts may come sooner than some are anticipating, but right now, there's way more inventory on the market than we're used to seeing, and December and January tend to be 2 months where sales are often at the lowest levels that we see all year. So unless a lot of people take their properties off the market over the holidays, I think we could be in for a very slow winter. Picture this, the highest amount of inventory we've had in the past 6 years by the end of December has been 2,508 homes. That was at the end of 2020. We need a 40% drop in available inventory to get down to that peak amount. So unless that drop happens, we're carrying a lot of properties on the market through to January. Again, if you're a buyer that's been sitting on the fence, it might make a lot of sense to take action before these market conditions change. I'm Harnish, Toronto Real Estate Navigator with Bosley Real Estate. I want to thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you watching. If you're catching this on YouTube, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to make sure that you don't miss any upcoming content.